Yeah. Sorry, dude.
I know. Just bring your picture. Sit up there, bro. Stay with you.
No.
Here, there was extra ones. Just that other.
Good afternoon. Thank you. If I could have your attention, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to Hamilton High School. My name is Doug Leiss. I'm the principal here at Hamilton High School. I'd like to welcome everyone here on behalf of my administrative team, the counseling department, teachers. I would like to welcome you to Hamilton High School. I would like to say a special thank you to our school board members, Mr. Johnson, who is here, Mrs. Harvey, who is here, Dr. Stitzinger, Mr. Bowling, and to Mr. Kruger, who are not here today. I'd like to also thank members from the school board that are here. Mr. Millard is here today, Mrs. Kopis is here, and other members of our school board. We have a lot of special guests that are here this afternoon. Most importantly, our students and our parents. And we'd like to thank you for being here today. TV Hamilton is here, the Hamilton Community Foundation, they're here as well. And so we'd like to say thank you to all of our people for taking time out of their schedules to come by and recognize our students. So thank you for your attendance. Today is a very special day in which we recognize and congratulate students based on their character. In this district, that means a lot. We have an opportunity to appreciate our students' commitment. We get to commend our students for taking steps of valor to do things other people do not have the intention to maybe do on their own. I'm so very proud of their accomplishments. I find it only fitting to spend time to eat and dine together and recognize, applaud, and appreciate each student's past accomplishments, but also admire each person's decision regarding their future. And that's what today is all about. So thank you for being here. At this time, I would like to turn things over to Ken Bryson, who will be leading us today's ceremony. Mr. Bryson.
Thank you, Mr. Leiss. Brian Treadway, the counselor, was supposed to be doing this, but he was called away. He's the head coach at Baden, and they are in the state tournament. So he asked me, it's only appropriate that he asked me to pinch hit for him, using a baseball term. So I'll give him my best shot, okay? First person we'd like to introduce is our own Captain Allison, who is going to be presenting the Air Force. Captain Allison.
Just for make sure get everything clear here, I am neither in the Air Force nor am I a recruiter. So, but I'm pinch hitting also for the Air Force. I have a historical thing for that too, but I'll just leave that for a later date and at some point. Before I start with the enlistees, Mr. Leiss gave me something just prior to this, and we knew this a few weeks back, but this is he asked me to go ahead and talk about this. This is a letter from the direct, as many of you know, or most of you know, I'm the senior naval science instructor here for the NJROTC program. And today he received in the mail the certificate that designates our unit as a distinguished unit with academic honors for the 2013-2014 school series. And what I'd like to do is, for all the people who are here that are in the unit, and Gunnery Sergeant McAllister, if you could just stand so people could, obviously this isn't, we've got 113. This, I'm going to read a little bit of this. The Distinguished NJROTC Unit designation is awarded annually to schools whose NJROTC program ranks in the top 30% of the programs in each NJROTC area. And competing units are ranked according to degree of excellence attained in administration, academic performance, military proficiency, and host school support. Accordingly, Hamilton High School's achievement of the Distinguished Unit designation is directly attributable to the strong support and encouragement that you have given the NJROTC program. That's specifically to Mr. Leiss, and it says, and host school support. We couldn't ask for more support than we got from the school and the district. One of the nice things about this designation is Mr. Lice is authorized to nominate 3 eligible NJROTC cadets for admission to the U.S. Naval Academy, 3 to the U.S. Military Academy, and 3 to the U.S. Air Force Academy, which gives him essentially the same authority there as a congressman or a senator or the vice president, which is good for our program. Without further ado, now I'll switch hats and pretend like I'm in the Air Force. Okay. Cody Richardson, Samantha Pence, Jared Dwiggins, and Austin Saylor, please come forward, please. You can stand in front of me if you wish. That's fine, whichever way. Okay. Now, first we'll talk a little bit about Mr. Richardson. He is one who's been in our program now for 3 years, so I can talk a little bit more about him than the others personally, but today we're gonna concentrate just on him going into the Air Force, and this is something he's wanted to do since as long as we have known him, and now he's making that dream come true. Both himself and Miss Pence, they are still waiting their job assignments and their dates, unless that has changed in the last 24 hours since I talked to them on this. But so they're moving on. Mr. Jared Dwiggins, he will be departing on the 27th of August, and his job specialty is going to be special vehicle maintenance, or it's Air Force terminology. He's ultimately going to be a diesel mechanic. That's what it means in this in civilian terms. And Mr. Austin Saylor, he's also going in on the 27th of August, and he's going into security forces, which is again the Air Force's way of saying a military policeman. For all of them, and for all the people who are going to be here today, I want to congratulate them on making this decision. We have over 300 million people in the United States. We have roughly 1.5 million in uniform. So that's barely 0.75% of the people who protect this country every single day. When you add in the 23 million veterans that we have in the country, you're still looking at less than 10% of the people in this country have spent any time in the military to defend all the things that we have today. So I greatly applaud these individuals and all of the individuals who we are signing today. And I know there's going to be a few more, but this is and I'm also very thankful for the administration here for doing this. I can't when I talk to my compadres in this program, there are very few schools that do this type of program for these young men and women who will soon be raising their right hand, and they've all done it at one point, but they're all going to do it again, and this is what it really means. They're going to raise their right hand, and they're going to swear or affirm to support the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And this whole, so what does that mean? And on the domestic side, we have our Constitution has these posse comitatus laws. We can't fight domestically like we can on the foreign soil, and we prefer to do away games and we prefer to do home games. On the domestic side, we support and defend the Constitution by how we carry ourselves, by how we conduct ourselves, how we look, and everything that we do, and we change the hearts and minds right here. And we try to do this in our program in the school, and they will continue to do it in their life. The next thing is, as they continue with that oath, they're going to agree to obey the President of the United States, and here's the true magic part, and all the orders of the officers appointed over them, sight unseen. What a covenant that is, that they will promise that there's people out there, they don't even know who they are. They're going to obey them for whatever that person says to do. According to regulations that they haven't read yet, and I was in the Navy for close to 33 years, and I didn't read all the regulations. I still don't know all the things that I did wrong. Hopefully they don't come back and catch me. And that Uniform Code of Military Justice, and they will say this before their own God. And so this covenant that they make, and all the promises that they make, what do we promise in return for them? And what we promise is to give them an opportunity. We'll promise that that they're going to go out and they're going to come across the best friends, the best shipmates, the best soldiers, the best Marines that they will ever meet in the world. And they will carry those memories forever. And so it's really a privilege to get up here and speak to you today and to talk to these fine people. And I wish I had more to say individually about each of them, and I wish that their recruiters have taken good care of them. So with that, I'd like to give them a good round of applause. I'll come and shake your hands at least. Let me know how it is, especially you. Okay, and you.
Thank you, Captain. Next, representing the Army and the Army National Reserve, we have Staff First Class Mark Hobbs.
Thank you, sir. I'm Sergeant First Class Mark Hobbs with the United States Army, Army National Guard here in Hamilton, Ohio. Almost said Cincinnati, Ohio, excuse me. It's an honor to be here today, to see the young men and women, our fellow veterans, and the people that are getting ready to step up and take our place. One of these days we will be gone, we'll be retired, and our freedoms, our nation's freedoms are dependent upon you. That's a lot to put on your shoulders. That is a lot to put on your shoulders. I'm going to introduce 4 young men that have decided to step up as well. 1 to join the active Army, and 3 to join the Army National Guard to take on not only the nation's mission, but the domestic mission that the commander spoke of. Those soldiers are Private Mason Wilson, Army National Guard; Private David Folson, Army National Guard; Private Anthony Birch, Army National Guard; and Private Justin Schlegel, United States Army. While Mason, David, and Anthony will go to the same basic training as as Justin, they will come back here after they're done with their basic training in AIT, and they'll attend college. They'll get to go to any college they want to in the state of Ohio, and the Army National Guard, because of their dual mission, will pick up the tab for their school. Justin will go on to basic combat training, and he'll go to AIT just as the other 3 will, and then he'll go to a post, be it either in the United States or abroad, and he'll support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. It's a big commitment for a young person to take upon themselves, and we know this. The best thing that we can do as friends and family is to support them, be there for them, and do anything that we can to do them. You're going to meet friends, as the commander said, in all branches. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your commitment to our country. Thank you.
It's not done for the handshake.
A round of applause.
Thank you, Staff Sergeant Hobbs. Representing the United States Marine Corps, we have Staff Sergeant Lopez.
My name is Staff Sergeant Lopez. I'm the local Marine Corps recruiter for Hamilton High School, along with servicing the rest of Butler County. It's myself and three other Marines. We cover all of Butler County, and without further ado, I'll go ahead and get to the future Marines that we have here today. Todd Atkins, he can't be here today. I guess he had some other things come up that he had to take care of. But Matthew Davidson, Nathan Tucker, Robert Hubbard, Lucas Dunphy, your other left. These young gentlemen here, I haven't had the I've had a little bit of time to get to know each and every one of them. They were actually recruited by my predecessor, Sergeant White. He actually left back to the Fleet Marine Force a few months ago, and I replaced him. Slowly getting to know each and every one of them, but without a doubt in my mind, definitely going to make great Marines. Majority of them have spent many days with Gunnery Sergeant and the captain here, slowly developing themselves as young leaders, and they're going to make great Marines. And I appreciate and thank everyone here today, especially the young men and women who have decided to defend our great nation. It goes noticed. Thank you.
Representing the University of Cincinnati's ROTC program, we have Captain Isaac Wilker.
As I said, my name is Captain Isaac Wilker. Not only do I currently teach as the Assistant Professor of Military Science and History at the University of Cincinnati, I'm also a graduate of the ROTC program at Cincinnati back in 2007, just a few, 6 short years ago. But yes, I'm here to officially recognize, the scholarship to Alec Bullard today. But Army ROTC is much more than just a scholarship program. It's an invitation to a demanding course in leadership to prepare for service as an officer in the United States Army. And Alec, what that means for you is that in about 4.5 years, when you graduate from the University of Cincinnati and accept a commission, not only do you get the privilege of serving in the United States Army, you get the honor and the challenge of leading the individuals you saw come up here before you as their lieutenant, as their platoon leader, as the person who gets to make the decisions that affects their lives on a day-to-day basis. And that is not a decision that is undertaken lightly. That's why individuals accepted for this award not only have exhibited the strong traits of a scholar, an athlete, and a leader, but they also have the potential to grow in these areas as well. So that's why it is my distinct honor today to officially welcome Alec Bullard into the Bearcat Battalion at the University of Cincinnati. I guess the thing I did mention is, I guess, the scholarship is currently worth about $70,000 to $80,000 over 4 years at Cincinnati. So, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you very much. We'd now like to have the Honorable Mayor Pat Mueller come up and give a message to y'all, the enlistees, and their families. Mr. Mayor.
Good afternoon, and congratulations, students, on your academic accomplishments, as well as your decision regarding selecting a military chapter for your life. Of course, I want to thank those of you who all have served our country as well already. 3 themes come to my mind when I think about your decision. The first is the calling for you to join the service. You know, back in my day, when there was a military draft, Uncle Sam called you up. But each one of you, though, had an internal calling, had an internal realization that joining the military was right for you right now. The military chapter in your life may last 2 years, or it may last 30-plus years, like it did for 1973 Hamilton Taft High School graduate General Rick Lynch. And he served about that amount of time in the Army. Fine gentleman. He's actually going to be our featured speaker on July 4th here in the city of Hamilton, Ohio, after our July 4th parade. And he recently wrote a book about leadership principles of an American general. There's another Hamilton resident to show you how also your career could be. A guy named Frank Ashdown, pretty common Hamilton name, who has a nickname Sarge. To this day, he served in World War II, the Korean War, as well as Vietnam. So there are many different kinds of careers and durations of careers for you. But thank you for answering the call of duty. Thank you for answering the call of honor. And thank you for answering the call of your country. The second theme which comes to mind is the word bond. If you put into a room retired General Rick Lynch, retired Sergeant Frank Ashdown, and one of you, no matter what branch you go into, after you're successfully getting through boot camp, there's going to be a bond. It's going to be a brotherhood among you. And we proudly on July 4th always invite veterans of all branches and all conflicts to join us at that parade. But to see men and women at that parade route, men and women, all veterans, different branches, different conflicts, get together is really something to see. There's no economic differences. There's no race or gender differences. There's no difference in rank among them. You see a group of veterans who, like all of you, have some shared experiences of protecting the back of your fellow soldier, sailor, Marine, and airman, shared experience of taking orders, and a shared experience of serving your country. For my grandfather who served in World War I, my uncles who served in World War II, my brother Bill, who's a Taft grad from 1974 here at this same building, and his son, who both served in the War on Terror, to my cousin Carl Conrad, who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, I've witnessed close up the bonds for those who have served this country in the past as well as who currently serve now. And you now join this unbreakable bond. Lastly, which comes to my mind is the word grateful. From speeches recognizing veterans, including those who have fallen in battle, the words thanks from a grateful nation echo within me. So when you're running in boots with a 40-pound pack in 100-degree weather at a base far away from home, when you're in full gear outside the wire or on a battleship up to a year without stepping foot on dry land, as my uncle did in World War II, when your high school friends are tailgating at a Cincinnati Bengals game, eating pizza, drinking adult beverages, and you're not, I hope that we civilians, through letters, through calls, through care packages, through prayers, and through support after discharge, I hope that we all express our gratitude. A grateful Hamilton thanks you, students, for protecting our freedoms around the world, and thanks you for protecting your fellow soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines also around the world. Thank you very much.
Like one more round of applause for Mayor Mueller taking time out of his schedule and all these gentlemen that are here today to come in and see us today. I'd like to remind everybody the plaques that are there at your table, those are your memento to take and leave with you today. Those are a way for us to say thank you for your contribution and to wish you the best of luck, a memory, lasting memory from us here at Hamilton High School. So please take those with you. We're at the conclusion of our ceremony. We would like to ask two things. One, I would love to have an opportunity to get everyone's picture up here towards the front of the table. And second, it is Friday afternoon, and this food's not going to eat itself. So please come back over here and eat before you go ahead and leave today. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of the afternoon.
Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. I know. Just bring it in. Sit up there, brought the table in. I can't help it.
No.
Here, there was extra ones, just at the other table.